Hello, and welcome to Unlimited Appetizers. I'm your host, Erin.
And I'm someone who's currently in Erin's house, Mancha.
Yeah, so if you didn't notice, this is kind of a special episode, number one, because we are in person together. We're not, like, talking at each other through a weird Zoom call.
Yeah, this is not a common occurrence because we are several states away from each other.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in, like, a year, I think. Yeah.
Pretty much a year.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year. But yeah, we were going to a con this weekend, so Mancha was staying here along with a couple other friends that we had visiting. And we were like, sure, let's do an in-person episode, so we have
Kind
one.
of have to.
Yeah, this is what, like 6 or 7?
7.
Seven's the most special episode because we're here together.
It's the lucky number. We're never going to have another episode like this ever. I don't know. I'm not going to make absolute statements.
Yeah, I hope we get to do another in-person one, but we'll enjoy it while we have it.
Yes.
Reason number 2, this episode is special. We also have our first ever guest on the podcast.
Yes, John Cena. I got him. I booked him. He's right over there.
It's
you see him?
It's
You see him?
unfortunately not anybody that's famous.
You see him right there? You can't see him.
You're not even the guy who's supposed to make the wrestling jokes. It's literally the other guy. All right.
That's why I picked it. It's a sport. It's foreshadowing. It's good use of English literature tropes.
Yeah, no, we did not get John Cena. We just got a guy I am dating, so he's here. All right, let's get him in here. Come on, Tyler.
A guy you're dating? A guy you're dating, not the guy you're dating.
There's only one. I'm sorry. That's probably poor phrasing.
Right.
But yeah, he's here. This is my boyfriend, Tyler Wood. Tyler, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do?
Sure. My name is Tyler Wood. I'm a stand-up comedian, voice actor, writer, a podcast host also. That's one of the reasons I'm on here, to promote my podcast. I'll wait until the end to do any plugs.
You can say the name.
It's at 10 Bell Pod. Yeah, we can do it later. We'll do it now and later. How about that?
Like the candy.
It's 10 Bell Pod. It's a professional wrestling podcast about dead wrestlers. And that's the short version.
Are there that many dead wrestlers?
Buddy, there's a lot. They tend to do that.
I get it. It's a dangerous sport.
The sport's not. They don't die in the ring. They die from like the drugs and the alcohol afterwards.
I thought they would die in the ring because it's a real sport.
A couple of them have. Some of them do. But it is absolutely real. You're right, and I appreciate that.
Good.
That's, yeah.
I know. Listen, I know a thing or two.
Yeah. And that's it.
Not about wrestling, just I know a thing or two.
Do you know about sewage treatment facilities?
I do not. Nor do I know about spicy aioli.
That is a callback to earlier in this weekend.
You know, I think it would have been pretty funny if we just never established that it was an inside joke, because then it could have been a good one-off one-liner.
Spicy aioli and sewage treatment. That's a good one-off one-liner.
That's the name of the episode.
I don't want to. We fight a lot over the episode titles. We'll be like, not like fight, but we'll be like, I like this line or I don't like that line. I'm not committing to spicy aioli and sewer.
I am. I'm putting all my chips on that basket.
Okay, well, I also don't know if I should make the choice because the episode title that I really wanted was Shark Tank, and that one did the worst, and I'm not sure if it's because it had shark in it.
We equally wanted Shark Tank.
That's true. All right. Anyway.
Sharks, I'm out.
Those are all the things that you might know Tyler from. I know him from buying me Chipotle and driving me around places, but he also does other
I know
things.
him from one of those things.
Driving you around places.
I had to buy my own Chipotle.
That's true.
Yeah, we did just get Chipotle before this. It's pretty good.
You don't yell at me enough for me to buy you Chipotle.
Tyler!
Alright, I'm already getting roasted.
How much money do you want? How much money?
All of you.
I buy you stuff all the time. I literally am always buying you food, dude.
You haven't bought me a silly shirt to wear on the podcast.
I bought you that big Floppa shirt, and you have not worn it.
Yeah, I feel like that counts. That's on you, dude.
I was looking for a formal silly shirt.
I bought this one. This one's my hard-earned tax dollars.
Yeah, like, we got kind of a similar vibe going on with the shirts. I guess your color scheme kind of fits, too.
You don't not fit.
Yeah. Congrats. We've just uncomfortably shoved you in the couch between us, and then we're just kind of, This is the arrangement that we have because we have one camera and one microphone, so.
We are a professional studio.
No.
Yes.
No.
Erin is a liar.
I am, but not for that reason.
You're outvoted. So this weekend,
yes.
this weekend, like the big thing that we all came down here to do was we went to Animazement down here.
Yeah, it was a con in the Raleigh Convention Center, which is probably like 15 minutes from my apartment. So I was like, "Hey guys, there's a con. You want to come visit and like visit me?" I've lived here almost a year. I haven't had any visitors until this weekend, other than like family. So we planned around that. We went to the con for like 2 days, and then we did some other stuff in Raleigh, just like hanging out. And then our other friends had flights home this morning, so now we're doing the podcast, and you have been subjected to it.
Yeah, I made the questionable decision to drive the 9 hours down here.
Yeah.
So I stayed an extra day. But tomorrow I will be in hell on my drive back to hell.
Ohio.
Yes.
I was in Ohio recently.
Yeah?
Yeah, early May. I went up there for a comedy festival. I was in Akron.
Mm-hmm.
The people are very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't met any mean people in Ohio.
You haven't met a single mean person your entire time living in Ohio.
You don't live in
your
Ohio.
Entire life. I meet mean people like every time I go to the store. Like I don't know how there's no mean people in Ohio.
I just avoid them. You know, most people down there, if you just talk nice to them, they're all right.
All right. Well, I guess I don't know how to do that. Sorry.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here, Tyler. Thank you.
Mancha, I'm glad you're here too.
I'm glad you're here.
I don't get. We're joking that Tyler's just gonna like put his like arms around us the whole time, and that'll be the arrangement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So, what? I don't know. What else?
I mean, do you want to talk about con first? 'Cause
yeah. That was like the focal point of the weekend. So
that was our pretense for coming down here.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so I'd gone to GalaxyCon Raleigh here. That's actually where I met you, and that was like really cool. Same venue. And this
was at the Raleigh.
Yeah, it's the same venue.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, like the last con I went to here was like really cool. Like I think it'll be fun, and it was fun. It didn't have as much going on as GalaxyCon did. I felt like there were a lot less panels. Like, the show floor was fine. I don't think it was as big as GalaxyCon, but it was like, fine. But there wasn't a lot to do. Like, we went for 2 days, and we had passes for, like, the whole weekend, and we were like, I don't need to do Sunday.
There was only, like, one thing we wanted to do Sunday, and it wasn't worth getting up that early to go.
It was a joke thing that we wanted to perceive also, because when we were in college, we used to do the cosplay chess.
I don't know why it was a joke. You guys took that pretty serious in college.
Well, like for here's the difference between the events, right? For us, right, our club, cosplay chess was a large choreographed stage production.
We'd hold like auditions, and then you would write it, and then like rehearse it over the course of a couple months, and then we performed it, and it was like a play.
It was a whole ass thing, whereas most other cons it's just like a fun little thing that you get to be part of if you want to like do something during the event.
It's more like an improv exercise that you sign up for, but not people that know how to do improv. It's just like people like sign up like, I'm this character in this costume, and then they'll put them on the board, and there's no like ours had like little scenes where people would fight and like kill each other. This is just like the person attacking just like hits you with a sword and yells like a one-liner from the series, and then you fall over.
Yeah.
So it's not. We kind of like, whenever we're at a con that has it, we always kind of want to go like look at it, because it's like what we do, but like very different. So we just like to be like, oh, this is the rest of the world's cosplay chess. But yeah,
because it's very much more for people like, I want to get up in front of a few people, but I don't want to commit to anything.
Yeah.
Which is great if you like that, but I don't know. I'm more interested in doing something more structured.
We require more attention than yelling one line.
Yeah. Yeah, even me.
As someone who was the president of an improv troupe when I was in college, people that don't know how to improvise, trying to improvise, especially those with a penchant for stranger facets of pop culture, turns into a mess. A lot of people yelling out lines from the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, so
I'm the Joker, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure your improv troupe had rules about like references to things and stuff, because when we would do the auditions, you had to do an improv thing, and we were always like, don't quote stuff, like don't just like yell lines from like pop culture because we don't want you, we want to see that. We want to see you like
good improvisational scene is about your connection with a partner in the scene.
Yeah, and not just like how many memes from Twitter can you spout at somebody. Yeah, so you kind of get it. We've had similar like overlapping hobby things. I've talked to you a lot about it. I don't know. I mean, ours is you weren't dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog, but
You could.
you could. You are
It's
free to
never
do that.
too late.
I have the costume. You wanna?
Can you make alterations?
You could just wear the hat.
Okay, all right.
I'll get you your own blue morph suit thing. Yeah.
I have a morph suit. I have a green morph suit.
Oh wait, you do. I've seen it.
Oh yes, you've seen all of it.
It's a sight.
I mean, is it just the Green Man suit from Sunny?
It's that. So at GalaxyCon, disclaimer, they bring me in for stuff specifically, but I played Martian Manhunter for the Roast of Superman. We did a character roast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and learned about proper cosplay mechanics at that point.
Like when you're wearing something that is skin tight on your lower body, there's some equipment that you need to have inside the costume. Is that the mechanics you're learning?
Well, I have some equipment, but you need like a dancer's belt, right? Is that
Yes,
what you're
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yep. That's generally a good thing to have.
It's the fun little sentence you're dancing around, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those character roasts that you've been in feel very similar to like something that our club would do. Oh, but you're probably if you guys all do comedy, you're probably funnier. But that's like we've done like people do like dating games and stuff like that where you're in character, and then we did the chess thing. We did like Hollywood Squares one time, so it was like a game show thing.
It sounds very similar and probably something that everyone would be into, but you guys are like professional, I imagine.
Calling you professional. I've seen the photo.
That's why I said I imagine.
It looked good. I'm sure it was very
Professionaler.
funny.
Better than someone off the street.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm talking about the jokes, not the costume.
Oh, the costumes were very bad. Some of them were bought and like...
That's part of the comedy, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this dude.
I came out
He's
and
green.
like I didn't even go through the trouble of getting like the trunks that Martian Manhunter would wear. People came out and I'm like, you know who I am? And they're like, Green Lantern? And I was like, no!
Oh, I love that. Yeah, there's some people who like their whole thing is just doing like comically low budget looking cosplays. There's that one
That's
guy.
just a whole side of TikTok.
Yeah, like just sometimes that's like the entertainment is just being like you can loosely tell what this is, but it looks horrible on purpose. Yeah.
I had a blue cape. I felt like that really sold it.
That congratulations. You know how to order a blue cape
World's
off Amazon.
hardest man to chroma key out.
Well, now I have a personal cosplay advisor, Mancha.
Wow!
You don't want my advice, dude. I don't know anything.
I keep trying to get you to dress up with me. I've tried to pitch a couple things to him, but we're having trouble landing on something that we both want to do that isn't like absurdly hard.
The one that you're most fine with me doing, since you cosplayed Daphne and your friend Derek cosplayed Shaggy. You're like, who from Scooby-Doo would you want to be? And I listed off some people, and the only one you were fine was the minor 49er.
It's not that was the only one I was fine with. Is we had like 2 weeks, and he's showing me like the diving suit man or like other
Captain
people,
Cutler.
and I'm like, yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I don't know all the deep Scooby-Doo lore. I'm sorry.
I'm a teacher, don't worry.
But yeah, it was just like it was too much to put together on a short notice, and you didn't want to be Fred. You were like, no, I want to be Shaggy.
No,
so it was like,
who wants to be Fred? Who wants to be the man?
I was Fred in high school.
I'm so
see,
sorry.
we found someone who wants to be Fred.
So
I mean,
sorry.
I didn't want to be anyone else.
Not even Captain Cutler?
You know, I don't want to make a diving suit.
That's the thing is like
He's the coolest character.
Okay, if I were a villain, I would want to be the Ghost Clown. From the original
That one's
series, I
good.
would want to be the Ghost Clown.
Good answer, good answer.
I have cosplayed Phantom Virus, and it was pretty
Yeah.
bad, but I did cosplay
No, I
Phantom
loved
Virus.
it.
My vibes were great. My costume was bad.
the cosplay chess thing that we were talking about. I was Sonic, Mancha was Phantom Virus, and we fought
And
each
Sonic
other.
killed me.
I killed you, yeah.
I was actually Todd Howard from Skyrim in disguise.
There's
It's a
a whole
lot
thing.
funnier if we don't explain the context.
Sure.
I'm going to police the meta narrative of this show, and you can't stop me.
I'm just always, like, itching to provide people context. Like, all weekend there's been stuff where we've been talking about things from home in front of you, and I'm like, okay, there's, like, a whole, like, essay of information I need to give you.
That's different. I feel like it's different in person versus over the internet, since, they can't ask us questions easily, so it's a lot funnier to leave them in the dark.
Also, it's, like, mostly our friends watching it, right? So they kind of know, right? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make the podcast look bad.
I don't know how you're making us look bad like
I'm
that.
just saying, I think I have
a lot of friends watching this who don't know what we're talking about because they're not cosplay friends.
They just click on it and they're like, why isn't this rap battles?
Yeah, why am I not in a rap fight with Erin right now?
Because I can't rap. Anyway, we brought poor Tyler on here today, and we're just kind of yelling across each other in front of him, but I don't know.
I think the vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are immaculate.
You're welcome.
I was a little worried about it, but no, we're having a good time. This has been a good number of minutes that we've been doing this podcast.
I always have fun with you two. Y'all are great. So we went to the con. Sorry, circling back. Don't know how long we've been on this tangent.
This is a special episode. Who cares? Our segments are different.
Yeah. Well,
no one's doing a secret one this time.
This is a Patreon exclusive, right?
No, this is just episodes.
Unfortunately, this is our prime content.
Now, if you do want a Patreon to subscribe to, I know a little indie channel called Uberosity. You're supposed to interrupt me.
I wanted to see, like, what else you had to say after that line, and I guess the answer was nothing.
No, I had nothing. I was really hoping you were just going to stop me.
You're like, please. Yeah.
Please, I can't continue this bit. I'm running out of fishing line.
Yeah. So, they came here for the con. The con was like, okay, we had fun. We kind of just walked around and, like, bought stuff.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we kept it short, I think. It was really fun keeping it 2 days, because I had a lot of fun both days checking out stuff.
Yeah.
The game room was pretty neat.
Oh, yeah.
We found it the second day, after not looking for it the first day and assuming there wasn't one, because...
Yeah.
That's how you do things.
The Raleigh Convention Center, the layout is like very
weird,
tiered, and like
it's very pretty, but it's very weird. There's not an easy way to get to every floor unless you take the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we went and did that, and then like the first night when we were here, we just like hung out. We like, played Jackbox. We got dinner. Friday night, we left the con early because I had Hamilton tickets.
Oh, yeah.
That was a whole thing. They sent out, like, an email being like, there's, like, a sports game in the area, so get there, like, super early. So I had to, like, drag everybody back from the con. I asked if they wanted to stay later, and they're like, no, we'll just come back with you. But, I just kind of left everyone unattended in my apartment to play board games while I went to Hamilton.
We knew this was coming. Erin was like, I have one extra ticket. Does anyone want to buy it? Well, how much are the tickets? $260. No!
Yeah, nobody wanted to
I'm
come.
not made out of money. I teach children? That means I have nothing.
I had $260 and I was like, it's on like my bucket list. I want to see Hamilton, and I went. And I will say, $260 is a lot of money to spend to have the woman behind me be coughing throughout the entire second act. So like, shout out to her. But other than that, it was really good.
If it were Beetlejuice, I would pay $260. Let's be very clear.
Well, guess what? Beetlejuice is coming here next year. They had a sign hanging up for it, so come visit.
If they don't come to Ohio, I might come bother you again.
That'd be good.
Erin went to go see Lin-Manuel Miranda's spectacular musical, Hamilton. You were, I think, at a friend's place, right?
Oh, yeah, I got obliterated.
So
I picked him up, and he's holding, like, 2 bottles of vodka and is very silly. So.
Vodka and whiskey,
Sorry.
birthday present from my friend Austin, peanut butter whiskey. It's pretty good.
I didn't have any of it, but he made me sniff it. I don't know. I thought that was a relevant comment to make, but yeah.
Me and the other 2 of us that were here, we had a bunch of stuff that we wanted to do. We had a bunch of board games ready, and so we sit down and they're like, "Hey, let's play Magic." I don't play a ton of Magic. I used to, so I borrowed one of their decks. 3 hours later, we're still in the middle of the first game, and we're realizing that all the food places around us are closing.
Yeah, everything closes super early.
And it was like 9:30,
Yeah.
which is frankly preposterous that I can't go to Taco Bell like after 10. I may live in Ohio, but I can go to Taco Bell until 2 a.m., thank you.
So that's not a North Carolina thing. I think that's a this area part of the thing, you know, where all those kind of people live. And it's, you know, all the Hamilton.
I don't know what words you said.
I don't know what words you said either. I'm hoping it's not anything that
It was
has to be cut.
all them type of people. You know, the Hamilton ticket buyers. They go to sleep early. Those old people with the money.
Old people who have normal sleep schedules.
Yeah.
Eat dinner at 2. So we're like, well, let's go to Taco Bell. Yeah, let's go to Taco Bell. Can't go to Taco Bell. It's like the driveway's blocked off. You can't go inside. So we go stand outside of a Papa John's for 15 minutes while they make us a pizza.
Dude, okay. Side note about this, one time I posted something on my Instagram story being like, oh, it like sucks that my Taco Bell closes so early. And all these people replied to it being like, that's because of the pandemic. And like, no, it isn't. The other 3 Taco Bells that are like further out are all open later. It's literally just the one on my street. And it made me so mad that I like took it down because people kept replying.
And this is like a nicer area.
Yeah,
where,
I was like,
you would think that they would stay open because it's a nicer area.
The night I was complaining about it, I drove like 20 minutes to get it from another one that was open later. It's just like everything right here. They're like, no.
Nice people don't eat Taco Bell that late.
See, here's the issue. By that, you're also calling me not a nice person.
No.
Which is true.
Ohioans, you know.
I live in Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I got a little bit of that. I don't have a rest of that sentence.
You have a little bit of that.
Anyways, that magic game took 4 hours.
Yeah, so we had to get there super early. We had to leave like an hour and a half or something before the show started, and the show's like 3.5 hours long or something. And so it's like the intermission. I've been in this whole process maybe like 2.5, 3 hours, and I see them like we're still on game 1 of Magic, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not there right now.
It was a lot of fun. Again, as someone who doesn't play the game a lot and was borrowing a deck, I was having a lot of fun, and I would have played a second one if we really wanted to go absolutely like batshit crazy. But yeah, when one of you has a deck that's just like, play this card, and it allows you to draw more cards, and then throw those cards elsewhere, and then play more cards, and then one of you has a deck that lets you play Dungeons and Dragons while you're playing Magic, and then one of you just has a bunch of guys that make more guys. It's going to be a long game. And also, no one attacked anyone for like an hour.
I know you're like, this is all the reasons why it's fun. Anytime I played Magic, I've always been like, I can't wait to not be playing Magic anymore. I always like play it for other people, and then I just sit there like, ugh.
I do have the card game brain rot. I just don't have the wallet to support that lifestyle, and I'm very bad at deck building.
Yeah, Magic can get out of hand when it comes to like...
Oh, I know people that spend like thousands of dollars on it.
I don't have thousands of dollars. I'll continue playing like card games on my computer.
Yeah, Aaron, you just spend your money on Hamilton, not something important like Magic.
I only go to Hamilton like once. I'm just not gonna buy Hamilton tickets every weekend.
If you were a real nerd, you'd be putting your money where it needs to be.
You need to have
Magic
a Hamilton
cards.
ticket in every Magic card.
Yes.
Listen, I bought us Animazement tickets. That was like my nerdy purchase for that weekend. I think I'm good. Yeah. We also played Mysterium, which you hadn't played, and I felt very bad because it's a game where like the one person who's me is trying to give people hints that like indicate cards that are out in front of the other people, and they just have kind of like vague art, and you have to interpret like what the person's trying to say. Like they might give you a couple cards that are like the same color, and then you're like, oh, like this card has that color, or it might have like an object in it that you'll see on the card. But it's like very vague, and you hadn't played it before, and I felt bad because I kept like doing you things, and you were just like, I don't know what this means. What do I do with this? And
meanwhile,
but you eventually
I'm guessing everything correct on the first try.
Yes.
I'm good at concept association when it isn't last episode of this podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry for anyone. Well, actually, we cut that down heavily.
No, we did a good job. I'm not sorry about that episode.
We salvaged it.
We cut out the really bad one.
Yeah, where I tried to make you guess ninja for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was never gonna get that.
Yeah, I know. But you got the one hint I gave you that was just like somebody wearing an outfit that vaguely looked like a doll in the room. So you got it. You got the hang.
Yeah, we had that trivia game too. I knew a whole bunch of stuff about you.
Yes, so I had a party the one night where I called it like the Rochester Raleigh crossover episode party, and I invited like my friends from here and then my friends that came to visit, and they all got to like meet, and it was like the like.
I'm gonna stop you because I think my way of explaining this is funnier. Whenever Erin throws a party, she makes everyone who's coming to the party do homework.
I do. I'm sorry.
No, I don't mind it. It's fun homework, but that is the way of things.
And if anybody gives even slightly like a, she making us do homework? She is like, you do not backtalk the teacher.
It's fun, and everybody enjoys it when it's happening.
It is a lot of fun.
Good. And
but it also is homework.
Good that you think it's fun. Good.
It better be good.
This was the messiest time I've ever ran it, because there's some people in the room that like didn't know me as well, and also like because they're like friends of friends, and then also we just had like slightly too many like the other times I've done it.
There were some people in the room that were absolutely hilarious. They
Stop
just
it,
had
stop
to
it,
be.
stop it,
They were hilarious.
Stop
They had
it.
to say hilarious.
And they were
things.
me.
It was not Mancha. It was.
Stop it.
It was not Mancha.
We were having fun, but
Yeah, I was in the kitchen doing shots.
there was a bunch of times where I was trying to like quiet people down, and my way of doing that is just yelling. Yeah, sorry. But nothing else works. So anyway, this is
You
not
gotta hit them with a.
I'm sorry, not all of us are teachers.
You ever do one of those? You ever do one of the silent counts?
I do that, but I just stare at them. Like I'll show that I'm counting like with my hand, but my hand's not up. I'm just like deadpan staring at the class, like, and then like one or two of them will catch it. And they're like, "Guys, shut up!"
Yeah.
And then they keep yelling, "Shut up!" And I'm like, "You are the problem."
Silence would not have worked in this situation. I needed to.
You need to fight
It's
fire with
a
fire.
talking.
Grab people's.
It's a talking game.
Yeah.
Except when Erin's talking, because you're the MC.
Yes.
It's like Dungeons
yes.
and Dragons.
Yeah. It's
That
like,
is not a diss.
Thank you.
It is the way of the games.
Basically, the way it works is I send out everybody this Google form, and I just have a bunch of questions, and they'll be like they'll start off with stuff like, "What's your favorite snack?" And then I just started putting like weird stuff in there, like if you had to take like a D-list celebrity as like your date to an event, like who would you pick? And then like
Who did I pick?
I don't remember who you picked.
That is also not how you phrase that question.
If you had to take a D-list celebrity to a red carpet event, who would it be?
That's what it was. It's close enough.
Yes.
It's close enough.
I still don't remember what I picked.
I don't remember what you picked either. I think I wrote Phil Swift.
I got several of your
Oh wait,
answers
that was
correct.
you?
Yeah, I wrote that. Well, people would know if they were paying attention when I was reading the answers.
I guess I missed that one specifically because I paid attention to most of the game.
Yeah, there was it got like hectic, especially like the second half of it, because people just wanted to talk and have fun, which is totally fine. It was like a little long, we had slightly too many people, but it's fun because I put I have everybody fill out these questions like that, and then I like scramble everybody's answers, put them on the screen, and you kind of just like yell out like guessing who put what. I've done it a couple times at things, and it's fun. And I gotta say, Tyler like knew a lot of stuff about me, and like we've been dating, a couple months, and you knew some like deep Erin lore, so good for you.
You gotta be a good listener when you're dating Erin.
Because I talk a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's real loud and it's usually real close to my ear, so it's hard to miss the answers.
Good. They better be drilled into your brain. There will be a quiz later.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Homework.
Yeah. So yeah, I give people homework before parties. Sorry. I'll make the homework slightly shorter next time.
Honestly, I think the length was fine.
Okay.
Provided everybody had a familiarity with each other.
Yeah.
I think you cannot do both. I think you can do long if almost everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
But it has to be shorter if you have a mixed group.
I had a mixed group one time, and it went faster, but they were much more shy people. So they were a lot like, when I would start talking, they would all just kind of like, okay,
Also understand that, like, I mean, we were having fun talking about the answers.
I'm glad that people were having fun. I can tell people were having fun. I worry about everything, so I'm just like looking around. If there's like one person that I don't think is having fun, I'm like, where are they?
As the person who also always worries about everything, since I was in your audience, that's why I'm telling you You're Gucci.
Okay.
My face. I'm trying to make sure my eyebrows aren't doing something weird.
You were very concerned about the eyebrows when we were setting up the camera. He's just like, do my eyebrows always look like that? And I'm like what?
Like they're actually one giant eyebrow that you separate.
I'll help you with that. Yeah. So that was what we did the one night. You guys got to meet my other friends. And that was cool. And then Sunday, we just decided to like not do the con that day because we kind of like seen everything. So we went mini golfing, and we went in the pool, and then we went out to dinner. Yep, and then we played board games, right?
Yep.
So fun time.
Pretty solid, pretty fun.
Yep, and now we are doing this.
I didn't suck at board game. I didn't suck at mini golf. I did better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I came in last, but I still did much better than I normally do, and that is very sad.
It felt like you did better than like the last time we went.
Yeah, the last time we went, I got so frustrated. I just was hitting it like 20 times.
A lot of us had a lot of 10s that last game.
Yeah.
Did.
The stroke limit was like supposed to be 5, but we were doing it as 10, so we were like taking forever on every hole and like letting people go past us, and we were like, why is this taking so long? And then we saw some guy go, and he did like 5, and we were like, oh, we were doing it too long. Anyway, golf. So I think that pretty much summarizes everything we did this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, our weekend.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm very funny.
Yes. All right.
Is there something you want to share with the class?
No, that was it. I'm good. We can move on from that. So we shared our reason that we're here in person together, and we talked about what we did this weekend. We had another idea to kind of just like talk to Tyler about our weird nerd stuff because he's less familiar with it, and then he can tell us about some Tyler stuff like NASCAR that we know nothing about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what a car is.
Mm-hmm.
You
did go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with me.
I did, and it was like Tyler was like showing me exhibits and like explaining things, and then I was like,
not the guy from Pimp Your Ride, not that exhibit.
What?
I'm usually a giant nerd, but my references are just. Did you never watch Pimp My Ride?
No.
Pimp My Ride?
I've heard of the name of the show.
Can you explain? See, we're already getting into the explaining. Can you explain?
They'll make it into an anime one day, and it'll be.
And I won't watch anime.
They'll turn it into a YouTube.
I'll watch I will watch an 8-hour YouTube documentary on Pimp My Ride.
I'll put in a surface order to Imp Lemon. You ever heard of him?
Yes. He made me watch
a
NASCAR documentary from that guy, and that was really good. It made me interested in NASCAR. But yeah, what I was saying was we were at the museum, and you like knew a lot about everything, so you were like explaining things to me and being like, oh, and like the history behind this is blah blah, and then I was like, oh my god, they have Lightning McQueen! Can we take a picture with Lightning McQueen? And that was like the whole NASCAR Hall of Fame experience.
A full father. When he's disappointed, just all of the hope draining out of my face. Like, do you understand the 3 people that have won 7 championships and why that was a big deal in each one of them? Lightning McQueen! Okay, yeah, we can go over there. Yep, absolutely.
They went fast. I get it.
They're Japanese cartoons. I get it. They're all the same.
I don't even watch that much anime. Like, that's
Neither
even
of
my
us
nerd
watch
thing.
that much anime.
Why do we go to an anime convention?
Because you go to like cosplay and see people and hang out and stuff. I don't know.
I also won a race on a simulator by a lap, and that's all we had to say about the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I didn't want to brag about that. I am a pretty big gamer.
He doesn't want to brag about it, but he got out of the car and started going like, yes, to like the little children.
They kept wrecking me. They did.
He was very agitated. It was like the 3rd race we'd done, and the children were just like getting to him, and he was just like dunking on them at the end. It was funny. Those simulators are terrifying because they have like rumble on them, and it's really easy to like spin out the car. It doesn't like control like a normal car, so.
Well, it's actually a simulator. It controls the most like an actual race car.
Yeah, but not like a.
Race cars are very different from regular cars.
Yeah, not like a car I would drive.
Mm-hmm.
My 13-year-old little brother, for his birthday, with all his birthday money that he saved up, he got like the whole rig to play racing games.
Oh, that's awesome!
Like he bought like the pedals and like the gear shift and the
steering
wheel. And he's been playing with that recently, which is it's insane that that's a rig, and I'm worried it's gonna mess up my parents' dining room table. But it's really cool. That he just got into that.
Do you know which games he's playing?
No. He had some NASCAR one that he was some old NASCAR one he was playing. I know we own BeamNG.drive.
That's fun.
I bought that because it's a fun physics simulator, and I like ramping the gravity all the way to like negative, so it starts flying and then crashing the car down repeatedly into the ground.
Playing God.
I have a YouTube series to recommend you later. But yes, he's been into that now recently.
It's pretty dope. I have aspirations to get one of those one day.
That'd be fun. You'll have to get not your like little Mac or whatever you have that doesn't play any games.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
They have like simpler games you could get.
So my Mac plays games. It doesn't play Roller Coaster Tycoon because that's designed for old Windows simulator. It can play games.
So I have Roller Coaster Tycoon, and Tyler can't get it on his Mac. So sometimes like there was a period of time where we were like really obsessed with it. So I'd be playing it, and you'd like walk in, and you'd be like, "Can I play Roller Coaster Tycoon?" And I would be playing it, and we kind of just like awkwardly look at each other because we're like, "Uh-oh, we gotta fight over it."
When you're playing it, I have to wait. When I'm playing it, you get to help me.
Well, it is my computer, and
yeah.
one time we tried to play together, and I talked about this earlier on the podcast.
Yeah.
We were just like micromanaging each other's like things. Like you were like, "Don't put that line entrance there. They will walk by that."
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't sound like that, Aaron.
What does he sound like?
Not that.
We've established that my impressions of people just sound like what they sound like in my head,
That's
maybe not
fair.
what they actually sound like. Sorry.
I think he just sounds like this.
He just sounds like a guy.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do an
Just
impression.
a generic guy.
I just made words.
Just a generic normie. That's me.
I know.
It's not even that. It's just this is the impression I would do for myself too.
You gotta put some stink on it. You gotta be like,
Yes, exactly. You know. The impressions that you do of me are not in like a normal voice. There's always a little bit of that.
I have a default woman voice.
Yeah, you can't use that for Aaron though.
Yeah, because my voice is like low half the time.
Yeah, for Aaron you have to be.
Wow, thank you.
That's not what my voice sounds like. That's the one I use, and she gets so mad about it.
Because it doesn't sound like that. It's not what it sounds like. I'm yelling into this one mic we have to share. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're having too good of a time. We need to dial it down.
I know. We gotta tone it down.
No fun allowed. Do I need to tap the sign?
Great stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about some stuff that Tyler has little to no knowledge about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to let you start.
Okay.
And we'll just see where the conversation flows.
I'm trying to dip Tyler into some of my weird stuff, and I recently showed you a couple episodes of Danganronpa, which you say is not that weird.
No.
But you're only a couple episodes in, and also I feel like the weird stuff about Danganronpa is like the culture around it more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you have TikTok. I don't know how much you get like cosplayers in your feed or anything. Yeah, if you don't, TikTok's very good at like pinpointing like what you like and then only showing you that. So I get like cosplay stuff.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like Danganronpa children on TikTok that are like 15 and will do like coordinated TikTok dances, and they'll all be like the same character over and over again.
And it's like, how did you get into this? Like, this stuff's like over 10 years old now.
I liked it when I was in high school, and I'm like about to be 26, and I probably liked it when I was like 16. So it's literally been like a decade, and now I'm seeing all these kids that are like, you know, very young. Like,
there haven't been that many new games to like keep the hype up.
Yeah, there's been not a lot. But anyway, so I've been showing that to you, and I've been like trying to get you more into stuff that I have watched, and that's not even like an anime that I would say. It's kind of regarded as like a bad one because it's an adaptation of like a much longer visual novel type game.
I feel like if you knew more about the game, it would get weirder too. From what I know about the game.
The tail end of it, I think you'll think it's weirder. But it's like they tried to take like a really long, probably like 30-hour, maybe more game, and try to cram it into like a 12-episode anime.
That's how they do it.
Yeah, so like a lot of people don't even like that one. I just think it's so funny of like all the things I've showed you that I like. That was the one where you're like, I like this, because it was not what I expected you to say that to, like, at all. I don't know. So that's like the only thing I've really introduced him to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've had him watch anything else. You like some anime, right?
Yeah, I like anime, and whenever I ask people that are into anime if they've seen it, none of them have seen it. So, like, I watched a lot of stuff that was on Toonami. I don't see. I didn't order the DVDs direct from Japan, so I can't really be into anime.
Oh, that's fine. I don't know. Everybody just uses like pirated streaming sites.
Everyone pirates anime.
My favorite anime of all time.
I mean, no one would do that.
No, we can't legally.
You wouldn't steal a car.
No, you would not download a pizza.
Yeah.
If I could steal a car and get away with it, I would. My favorite anime of all time is Yu Yu Hakusho. It's my favorite one by far. Seen it?
Heard of it.
Seen it?
No.
It's my favorite one of all time. G Gundam's also up there because when I was watching
seen that.
when I was watching it as a kid, it was a lot easier to understand the characters because they're all based around countries. Dragon Ball Z, you watched that when I was a kid, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And have you seen that one?
I've seen an amount of it.
I've only
Yeah.
seen a couple
I
episodes.
own.
I'm not that
I was
knowledgeable.
given like some of the arcs,
Mhm.
so I've seen an amount of it.
Lupin the Third, I'm also a big fan of.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So you've watched some stuff.
High School DD.
Is that the
Yeah.
one that we judge him for a little bit?
That's
Yeah.
the one that.
I am not about to get judged for that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
that's-
okay. My anime like night group. We plan on watching that next.
Let me know what you think.
I am not allowed to judge when I love Danganronpa and have cosplayed from like
Pretty
three of
much,
the
yeah.
games. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's trash. I think okay, so like I'm not a big anime fan. I think like when you're a cosplayer and you're friends with a lot of cosplayers, you kind of like absorb some knowledge about things that are really popular because a lot of your friends will cosplay them and like talk about the characters and stuff. So there's a lot of things where I'll be at a con and I'll see a character and I'll be like, oh, I know who that is. But if you ask me to like tell you deep lore about the show, like I haven't seen it, I kind of like know what it is, but
That's
only
my
with like new
association.
things.
It's my association with Danganronpa. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot about specific parts of it, but I could not tell you much about the series.
Yeah. We were asking Tyler if he's heard of a little phenomenon called Homestuck.
I've heard.
What do you know? What
Yeah.
do you know?
I hear it referenced around the internet a lot. And then I think I've like a couple times like Googled it to see if I can get like a slight understanding of it. And when you see that the backstory is like infinite scrolling on a Wikipedia page, I'm like, I'm out. And then she was able to summarize something about it is based around Tumblr lore.
It's not based around Tumblr lore. It was a very, very popular thing on Tumblr.
I, as someone who was very big into it back in the day, can give you a good...
Okay.
I can give you a good snippet of it. So,
Yeah.
Homestuck, it is a webcomic based on the idea of, old text adventure games.
Kind
where there's no pictures, there's just text.
Okay, gotcha.
And you type in a command, like
Gotcha.
you go to the window, you pick up the hammer,
Yes.
you hit the window with the hammer. It's based off that kind of thing, but there's pictures as well. But the entire story is written through the facade of a text adventure, which is admittedly a really cool concept I really like. As someone who's not part of the fandom anymore, there are parts about Homestuck that I still really appreciate. The storytelling, part of the storytelling is part of it. I like the way that they use like the narrative and the meta-narrative. Homestuck's a story about kids playing a video game.
Okay.
Of course, it's not just that, right? 4 kids start playing a video game that they all buy. This video game causes the literal end of the world in the real world.
Okay.
And then they have to like rebuild the universe.
Okay, there we are. All right.
And so Homestuck has 7 acts.
Okay.
When I say this, what would you imagine? How would you imagine everything spaced out?
What do you mean?
If there's 7 acts.
If there are 7 acts,
Like the
how would you imagine the
comparative
story
length?
is spaced out?
Evenly. But now that you asked that, I'm going to assume that the largest chunk of it would be funniest if it's in like the last 2 or 3.
It's number 6.
Yep. Okay.
So, 1 through 4 go pretty quickly.
I've only read 1 through 4, and I was like in high school.
1 through 4 are
Yeah.
pretty harmless. They're fine. It's not super hard to understand at that point. 5 is like, okay, here's 12 new characters. The internet's obsessed with them, and you don't understand anything because you can't read any of the words that they're saying because half the letters are numbers.
They all have like a typing quirk, is that what they call it? Where they type a certain way. So you know how like when there's like leet speak and stuff on the internet, people substitute like letters for things. Every character types a different way like that, and it follows like the same pattern.
And like the first 4 kids, it's very basic. Like one kid just doesn't use punctuation. Okay, you get used to it, and then here's this character who's all caps, and like A's, I's, and E's are replaced with 4s, 1s, and 3s. And it just gets progressively worse.
I'm out, sharks. I'm out, sharks. I'm sorry.
I didn't even really get to that part, and I was like, you were like, the first 4 are easy to understand. I was lost. I was like 16. I was like, I don't know.
4 gets weird.
Yeah.
So it's about them, and they played the game in a different... They're aliens. They played the game in a different universe. They're called trolls. And then you find out about their ancestors who also played the game. One of them is Jesus Christ, but an alien.
I can't even explain it this one.
So that's like Act 5, and then Act 6 is most of the story.
Okay.
Act 7 is like a 10-minute video, like a 10-minute animation. So Act 6 is broken up into 6 acts. And there's an intermission between each of these acts. And I'm pretty sure one of the intermissions is also split up into 6 acts.
And the intermission's like a separate story, right? Or like
they're all different vignettes. This is the point where I have to be very vague because I'm not able to explain it very well.
Right.
Basically, they like fly through the 4th wall and do some stuff and win the game.
I'd rather read the entirety of that Smash Brothers fan fiction. That's the lengthiest ever written text document. Yeah.
Honestly, I think I probably would too.
It has some redeeming stuff. Being part of the fandom made it a lot more dislikable. Personally,
why is that?
So
it was a very active fandom, and it was one that people like to roleplay these characters a lot, and a lot of the characters are not good people. And think, hey, have you ever wanted to paint your skin?
This is like what I was gonna like get into about it. Is the thing itself is not that bad.
It's just the
culture around it was like the weirdest phenomenon. Like there were times where you would go to cons and like half of the people at the con were Homestuck characters.
Were gray.
And the alien people...
Gray skin with horns, because those are the aliens.
The alien people come in that are the trolls. Those are
the ones that people like cosplaying.
Yeah, they have gray skin, and they have these horns that are kind of like candy corn colored. And they all like kind of, they look like that. They have like different shaped horns and stuff. They were like the most popular characters. So you would go to a con and all these people would be painted gray. And also like when you do body paint, a lot of times you gotta like seal it or like... there's like things that you can do so it doesn't rub off on stuff. But
these are 15-year-olds.
It was a bunch of kids.
I played Martian Manhunter. I understand how to cosplay.
I'm just saying there was a big phenomenon for a long time where like half the people at the con would be like painted gray and just leaving gray paint all over everything. And they'd like people at cons would like they'd run up and hug you and stuff, and you'd get like a somebody's arm imprinted on your outfit and stuff. And there were people that.
So you want to paint your skin a different color for a costume. Let's say you want to be Papa Smurf. Okay? Now, you don't have any blue body paint. You don't really want to paint yourself.
No.
So what is another solution that you might find? Okay, that's pretty close.
It's almost
pretty close, but it's still worse.
Oh, those gel pens that you could blow. You know what I'm talking about? No?
No.
I'm not that much older than you guys. I'm like 2 years.
Okay, now find the cross section between spray paint and pens.
Colored pencils.
You're like so close.
You are very close. How about filling a bathtub with like water
with paint,
and then filling a bathtub with water, and then emptying Sharpies into it,
and then taking a Sharpie bath. Someone did
and
this.
Almost dying.
Oh, that's why we have the Tide Pod disclaimers.
No, but
it's a shopping cart.
In the same realm. Yeah, there were people that I think it was just like one person.
It was one.
It was one person.
It was a very publicized story.
Yeah, of somebody like Sharpie dyeing their skin gray to look like a Homestuck troll.
Because I did cosplay one of these characters, I did not paint my skin We actually cosplayed the same character. We both cosplayed the clown.
So I cosplayed from it. We told this story on the podcast. I just we were doing a group costume with like a bunch of people in the club, and I didn't really read it. I wasn't super into it, but they were like, "We need somebody to be this character. Can you be this character?" The character that I was a juggalo.
I like juggalos.
Oh, that's interesting.
Juggalos are good people.
They are, but I just think it's funny. I don't know. It's a weird reaction to be like, I love juggalos.
Well, they can be mean to Tila Tequila, but they're big fans of professional wrestling, and they.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
There is that overlap.
And deep down, like I think a lot of the music has some positive messages in between confusion about magnets. Yeah.
Like I'm Violent J and I'm back like a vertebrae. That teaches you a lot about human anatomy.
I get it. I teach science.
I'm a real G and I move in silence like lasagna. It's a Lil Wayne lyric.
Oh, I love that. I wish that was a ICP. But yeah, so we did this group, and then this very popular Sarah Zed, very popular YouTuber, made a video about like the whole phenomenon of like Homestuck, and used a photo of our group in it. So I wasn't even really into this thing, and I'm in this like video that has like a ton of views on it, and I'm just like, oh, I accidentally made it into a Homestuck documentary thing.
So my story about being this character. I'm in high school, which is when I'm very into this. It's Halloween. I make this costume for Halloween. I don't paint my skin, but I make like paper mache horns, and I have the shirt, and I made the pants, which have like polka dots all over them. Mm-hmm. I go into my homeroom, which is also my first class, which is English. So it's my English teacher, who I love. She looks at me and she's like, Sam, have you been cuckolded?
I remember this.
And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. And she says, well, like, it's like when, like your wife cheats on you, like you grow horns. And I'm like, no, I haven't been. And then I move on with my day. And then 4 years later, I'm like, wait a minute! Mrs. Wells called me a cock!
How old were you?
15.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
What's...
That's pretty bad.
Wait.
It was like a literature joke, but it's really funny looking back and saying, oh, I was being called a cuck.
I guess I don't know the backstory of cucking.
It's just like you would...
I'm not in the culture myself.
You would... like in like classical literature, you would grow horns if you had been cucked. Right, it was a...
You're horny.
No, like, if someone else messes around with
your wife, yes.
If someone else messes around with your wife, you grow horns. Yeah. It's like, keep better eyes on your wife. I don't know why the guy would get punished
it makes
for
no
doing
sense.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But that's how the legends work. So,
Huh. Which
thanks,
legends?
Mrs. Wells.
Was Mrs. Wells... which kind of teacher was she?
She's my English teacher.
Okay, so it makes the most sense that she said it.
It very much wasn't like a diss.
Yeah.
But looking back on it...
If you were in her position, you wouldn't say that. That's like a weird thing to say to a 15-year-old.
How much you want to bet she's just like, that was a good reference.
Yeah. That's a good reference and a weird costume.
Yeah.
4 years from now, he's going to go, whoa.
Yeah. Homestuck, dude. So it was just it was absurdly popular on the internet. People were really, really into role-playing it. Like, the thing with, like, the typing pattern and stuff, some people would, like, type, like, on social media in those patterns.
I did it.
Yeah, like, people would talk, like, the characters and stuff.
I had a fan comic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have something that I can counter with now. It was something that I never had the patience for, but it has to do with professional wrestling.
Okay.
Back in the day when I was in like middle school, high school, so like 07 to 010, somewhere in there, there would be these like online communities where they would simulate or do like role-playing for professional wrestling. And they would, like, come up with these backstories for these characters, and it's like, I did this, I worked here, this is my finishing move. And then they would post, like, openings of, like, we have these segments, and it's like, who wants it? And so would be like, I want to cut a promo here, or I want to be in a match here. And I would see these promos that they would, type out, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I would go through, I'm like, I would care about my character that I come up with.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to read
This
what you
universe.
write. And then there were, like, protocols for how you could respond to somebody's call out and go out and challenge them for a match. And I think there were certain ways that the matches had to be laid out. But that was a subsect of that for a while. In addition to, like, I collected a lot of pro wrestling action figures as a kid. Hundreds of them. And I had a small phase, you've seen this, where I did stop motion animation with them.
Yes.
And it feels good to, like, every pro wrestling fan is an armchair quarterback type of deal where they're like, if I could book any wrestling promotion, I would do this. And then you have your little men and you do it.
That wrestling, like, RP groups you just described, like, first of all, there's stuff like that for any, like, big
I did
fandom.
it with Pokemon.
Yeah, Danganronpa, people will do that, where they'll hold, like, auditions and you pick your...
It's called a Danganronpa.
Yeah, and you'll have your because they all have, like, a special talent, so you be like, this is my character, they have a special talent, and then you're all in this big thing where, like, you know, they'll contact people privately and they'll be like, you're gonna kill this person, and then they're like, you have to write up a whole, like, roleplay thing of it. I auditioned for one and did not get in because I didn't have an extensive enough, like, DeviantArt history. I, like, made an account to audition, and they were like, we don't have any, like, scripts of you role-playing, so we can't use you. And I was just like, aw. But
no
anyway.
newbies allowed.
Yes, I was like, how am I supposed to get into the Danganronpa community? This was, like, years ago. That's so funny, though, that they had something like that for wrestling, because that's, like, a huge, like, fandom thing.
I guess that makes sense. So, my friend who I used to do Uberosity with, who has since retired and is now streaming, his name's Adam, he's really big into pro wrestling, so that's how I know, like, a little bit. But he would do stuff every once in a while where he got a bunch of us to write characters for him, with, like, finishing moves and stuff. And then he would either, like, simulate matches in, like, one of the games he had.
Yeah, I've been seeing videos with that getting a ton of
Or
views.
he would, like, literally just write one.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. My character, I'm pretty sure, was, like, Hurricane Mancha. And I had a bunch of, like, wind-themed moves.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Which is based off of a old diss track that someone did against
track
me.
against you?
I mentioned it earlier today, I think.
There was a wrestler named the Hurricane as well. From North Carolina. Hurricane Helms, yeah.
I know that my what's it called? The theme.
Entrance?
My entrance theme was
Yeah.
Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Okay, alright.
I love hearing the lore of, like, the diss track, and then you becoming, like, kind of, like, friends with that guy,
Yeah.
and then now the lore of, like, you becoming a wrestler based on your diss track.
It wasn't me. It was like I filled out a very small sheet, and then my friend
Like,
made a
did it,
character in a game, and then simulated matches.
Well,
It
your
was
wrestling
fun.
character's never you. It's you turned up to 10.
Yes.
I
That's what
I
we
had
literally say in cosplay chess, is it not what we
Yeah, no,
literally
that
would
is.
say? We would say you turn your character up to 10. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so funny how similar they are. Sorry.
It's just pro wrestling's just more normal cosplay chess.
More normal, not normal enough.
That's why I didn't say normie.
You've taught me so much. I'm into wrestling now. I'm a fan.
You've yet to watch a show, really, aside from the one at the con.
I talked during that one, sorry. Well, you watched, when you do, like, your research for your podcast, you'll kind of, like, explain the person to me while you're doing it, and I feel like I've learned, like, a lot of goofy characters from that.
You learned a lot about Dusty Rhodes, that's about
He's
it.
my favorite. He's
Yeah.
my favorite. There's a couple other here and there that you showed me, but it was just, like, clips of people and stuff,
Yeah.
not really, like, a whole backstory.
Mostly you like that John Cena proposed to the woman at WrestleMania in front
And
of...
then they never even got married.
Yeah,
What
and
is
then
that?
She got married and had a kid with her Dancing with the Stars partner. She's twins, by the way.
Is the other one a wrestler?
The other one's a wrestler. They used to do this thing where they switch out, and then one of them got breast implants, and they couldn't do it anymore.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Yikes. That's really funny. Anyway, I'm enjoying learning about wrestling and NASCAR. NASCAR drama. You showed me a compilation of, like, NASCAR people making each other wipe out and then getting in, like, fights about it or, like, talking, like, you know, shit to people in interviews about it.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Some people fight with their helmets on. Some people fight with their helmets off, and
I
it's.
feel like you'd want to keep it on, but that's just me.
You-
Yeah.
If both of them keep it on, it's not a problem. If one has it on and one has it off, that's a problem.
It's like unfair because you're
Yeah.
like the other person's open and you're not.
Yeah.
To being like hit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's you look weak. You
Yeah.
keep the helmet on.
And then you have your crew
You look
guys
cool.
jump in. Yeah, it looks better, honestly.
If I got in a NASCAR fight, I simply would hit them with my car.
That's usually why they're in the fight, just because one hit the other one with the car.
They were in the car most of the time. Sometimes they're not.
When they're not in the car, they get real funny. They do some real funny things.
Yeah.
I think they should use their turn signals.
Just hold it down the whole time.
Yeah.
You know those don't have turn signals, right?
I know that they're
The
like
lights are
special
stickers.
built and stuff.
Sometimes they have brake lights. I'm not going to get into this. So it's not the crowd.
Well,
for
in
it.
Cars by Pixar, featuring Lightning McQueen, the lights are stickers.
Not only was Lightning McQueen there, but there was another guy, and he was like, "You remember this character from Cars? Well, he's based on that." And I was like, "Oh, I'm learning so much."
The fabulous Hudson Hornet.
Yes.
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 Doc, I believe, was his name in Cars.
Doc Hudson.
Doc Hudson. I
Oh,
don't
that would
remember.
be-
I do not remember the actual driver.
He had 3 piston cups.
He did what in his cup?
There we go.
Get her done.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that. We got any other weird stuff we want to tell them about?
Yeah, let's talk about string theory.
Oh, I don't know anything about this. Is all you, man.
Yeah, it's all me. Well, you know some of it. You're how many dimensions do you easily travel through, Erin?
3.
3. That's no. You're right.
I think he knows
It's 3.
that, too.
It's 3.
It's
I'm
3.
saying. I figure you do. I'm
It's-
saying you were the one being skeptical. So
I was
Okay,
I'm
gonna
now
say it's
we're
3-ish,
teaching me.
depending on if
I
you
said
count
easily.
time.
I said easily.
I gotcha. Okay.
Easily. You have mastery over 3 dimensions, right?
Mhm,
First dimension being, length and then width and depth, right?
Yep.
So, string theory is, there's many of them. There's like a lot of different theories. The one I like is 10-dimension theory, which lists, you basically go for 0, which is nothingness, all condensed into a point, right? Up to
Pre-Big Bang, if you will.
whatever. Yeah, basically. To the 10th dimension, which is everything, every possible concept compressed into a single point. And so the easiest way to explain it is like this. So, you can teleport in the 2nd dimension?
Oh, because you can fold paper.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So if you take a piece of paper and you fold it over, right?
Yes.
Let's say you're an ant and you're right here on my hand and you want to walk from here all the way over to here.
Yep.
Right? Well, normally they would have to go all the way across, right? But if I fold my hand over, right, then they can simply walk from here to here. But for people living on the 2nd dimension, it would look like they teleported.
And that is the basis for wormholes.
Yes.
We're folding 3 dimensions
Right,
for wormholes.
so-
How is an ant going to fold a piece of paper?
Well, no.
It can't. That's the point.
Exactly. No, it can't.
And we can't
But we
build...
can, because we are 3rd-dimensional creatures. And
Right.
although the ant is too, we're using it as an example of a 2nd-dimensional creature.
So can a 4th-dimensional creature make us teleport?
And they're the people that run the country.
Yes!
Oh!
Yeah, the lizard people.
The lizard robot.
Yes.
So the 4th dimension theoretically is time, right? If you could travel through that, you could go backwards and forwards through your timeline.
Okay.
Okay, right? Which we can travel in one direction, right? And
Great band.
2D things can travel in one direction
Great
through the 3rd
band.
dimension.
Do it every time.
I caught it at least. I caught it early on.
Said great band when he said One Direction.
Oh, I'm so lost.
You got
on
lost at
string
the
theory.
ant thing.
I was like, ants folding paper. I'm lost.
Just wait till you hear about aunts folding paper.
If you pronounce it like aunt, do you do that?
No, but I do it to make a distinction for the joke.
Oh,
Okay.
what's the thing you put in pies? Starts with a P.
A fork.
Nope.
Pecans?
What's that?
Pecans?
Talking about pecans? Pecans.
You can peek at these nuts.
Oh, I have to cut that.
What? Maybe.
Nope, that one's saying in.
We'll see.
Oh,
No, because they're pecans. You can peek at these nuts. It's the pecans.
You guys going to SoCon?
Nope. I know that one. I know that one. When I was in high school, there was a guy in our English class who was reading a story, and it had something about pecans in it, and he like laughed while he was reading it, and everyone was like, "What?" And he was like, "Why are there birds there?" And for like the rest of the year, that poor guy got bullied so hard. Not like bullied, he was like kind of cool, but everyone would make fun of him all the time, like bring it up in class, and be like, "Yeah, like the pecan birds, right?" Yeah, he thought it was pelicans.
That guy now, Elon Musk.
Oh man,
Still doing things with birds.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Fourth Dimension's time. One Direction, great band. Go ahead.
Fourth dimension is time. Fifth dimension would be you can jump timelines, right?
Okay.
One thing's different. Let's say you put on a different pair of socks
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
Or it's a timeline where the Zaxby's is open.
Yeah.
And we go to the Zaxby's.
It is like infinitesimally small changes in things. Like
Yes.
I did
One
touch my-
change.
Yeah, like microscopic atom level. Did I move it to here or here?
Yeah, and then further you go, the crazier it gets.
Yes.
Sixth is a cube of this, right? Where you're able to therefore fold over that plane that we just made of timelines
It just jumps
and
around.
jump anywhere
Okay.
you want. So you can immediately jump to the one where you're a doctor, or to the one where Erin moves to like SoCal or something absurd, right? Right?
You ever been to SoCal?
No,
I just came up with the location.
have not.
SoCal, these.
Like the
Oh,
take that all, compress it down to a point.
Yeah.
Seventh dimension, right? Seventh dimension, you would make a line of these. So this is where you change fundamentals of the universe.
Yeah.
Right. Because that no matter what you change about the universe, you can't change gravity.
Yeah.
Right. But
Working
on
against
7, gravity is now 9.7. It pulls down 9.7, meters per second squared, or 9.6, or the heat that it takes for water to boil is different, or the laws of physics start changing.
Yeah.
And so 7 is a line where it's one variable. 8, you make a grid where you can go from, across a grid, and 9 is the plane of that. And then once you compress that all back down to a point for the 10th dimension, that's every possibility ever. That's one of the theories. I know there's a theory that has like 18 that I have not looked up on. This is one of my special interests.
when you were saying like 9.6 and 9.7, I was like, are these like Minecraft updates to the universe? That was like the only place my brain was going.
The acceleration of gravity pulling down upon you.
I see.
That's why everything falls at the same speed. That's why right now, if I took a bowling ball and a feather and dropped them off of your balcony, they would hit the ground at the same time.
No, they wouldn't.
In a
because there's
vacuum.
wind.
In a vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
In a vacuum.
I was gonna make that joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got it. You're smart. You win a sign. If I had a gold star, I'd give you a gold star for knowing your science.
I have a bunch of stickers.
You
You
can put
could
it on
give
your
me a
hat.
sticker.
What weighs more, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers?
They both weigh a ton.
There you go.
No, it's the feathers. You have to pay for the weight of the sins of what you did to those poor birds.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Love that one.
A kilogram of steel?
John Mayer. That was the gravity joke I was trying to make when you were. I've had that in the back of my mind working since you said gravity. I finally remember John Mayer saying gravity.
John, I don't get the John Mayer gravity thing. What happened?
He said gravity, and I said it is working against me, and
Oh,
I could
it's
not
the song.
remember who said it. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
See, my friend Nick is going to be very mad. He's not going to watch this, but he'd be very mad because he's
I know
a very
he
good, very big John Mayer fan.
Okay.
Well, you got it in the end.
Yes, that's all.
It wasn't even that long. It was not
You know,
that
there's
long.
another universe where I never got it, and there was one where I had it immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
In all of the universes, I was
Theoretically.
not paying attention.
We lost you at the ant, didn't we?
I know, I'm still on there.
And that's a level down from where you're at.
I don't like how that makes me look.
So, you know what I almost said Morbius. Dear God, a Mobius strip is.
No.
So if you take a piece
Sounds wet.
if you take a piece of paper, right, and you stretch it out, and then you twist it once, and then you tape it over.
Oh, it becomes.
If you draw a line on
Yeah.
it, it's a continuous.
It's on both sides,
line.
right?
A line
Yeah.
would appear on both sides. It's what the Sonic universe is called, Mobius,
Now you've got her interest.
right?
I also was thinking about how you said Morbius, and we were like, we should talk about Morbius, and then we realized that none of us know anything about Morbius.
No, that's why I wanted to talk about Morbius, because none
you-
of us know anything about Morbius.
What do you know about
He
it?
says it's Morbin time.
I know, the only thing I know about it is that he does not say that.
He says it's Morbin time, Erin.
The only thing I know is there's a lot of people
Okay,
tweeting
you're
about
gonna push her off the couch, and we're gonna do the podcast.
Okay.
Rude.
I know less about Morbius. Like
Well, Tyler, does he say it's Morbin time?
I don't know.
Tyler?
Are you're saying it confidently? So I'm gonna go.
Does not say it's morbid.
Tyler, does he say it's Morbin time?
I'm sure in a fan fiction somewhere he does.
In the movie.
In the movie,
No.
In the movie, does he say it's Morbin time?
it's gonna get me in trouble.
It's not like a
It's
slur.
gonna get you in more trouble.
Morbin? It's gonna get you in Morb trouble.
It's gonna get you in more trouble with Mancha than it will with me. I just know I saw a tweet this morning that was like, "Oh, I can't wait for when they make Morbius 2 and they put its Morbid time in it and people laugh and the joke is like 3 years old or
And the
something."
joke is that it was in the first one. It's a callback.
Okay.
Who is Morbius?
I don't know.
Jared Leto. Does that help?
It makes me not want to watch the movie.
That's yeah.
That's why it's really bad.
He's
that's-
got 30 seconds to sell me on it, and that's the trailer.
I think
It's a reference to 30 Seconds to Mars, which he was the lead singer of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about music.
Well, like clap or something,
I don't know why we're clapping.
so that you can see it in the audio and know where to cut it.
I'm just gonna have to remember.
Okay. Alright, so because Mancha had come to visit, I had gotten a little gift for you that I got our friend Jess, who is at starry_dice. We'll put that on the screen.
On Twitter.
On Twitter. I'll check if the other handles are different or not. But I got this commission of some art of us on the podcast, and it's kind of based after like the shirt Mancha's got going on. We talked about arcade carpets in one episode. And we're going to be making these into stickers, not selling them or anything because like 40 of you watch this, but if you know me...
Maybe in the future.
I'll probably be throwing them at you when I see you.
I think in the future we can make stickers. Once we have thousands of adoring fans.
Yes. But right now it's just going to be like take it. Anyway.
For freebies.
Yes, for free. So we thought that was cute. We want to share it. All right, now we can wrap up. Sorry about that.
So, before we do our thing, tell us where we can find you.
So I have a website that I'm in the midst of updating, tylerwwood.com. That's where I'll have tour dates and like different info, and I'll probably put a link to this podcast on there. And all the other podcasts I've been on. Funny that we talked about string theory a little bit, different dimensions. I was on a podcast recently, Conspiracy Beer Me, ton of fun. When's this coming out? Because tonight I'm opening for Ryan Singer at Motorco. That's a joke. You're not gonna.
It's not coming out in the
This is
next
next
hour, but yeah, next week.
Got a ton of fun shows coming up. If you guys want to follow me on social media, Tyler W. Wood on Twitter, Tyler W. Wood Comedy on Instagram, Tyler W. Wood Comedy on Facebook. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up all over the place. I'll be at GalaxyCon Raleigh in July. And yeah, thanks.
I'll be there bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on, Tyler. I know it's a big ass to be on your girlfriend's silly little podcast, but I appreciate it. You outro things.
Yes. I know the outro by heart.
I don't. I always read it off the
I'm
thing.
just making it up. Okay, so thank you for watching. First of all, please like the video. If you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe. Give us a comment. Again, we would love ideas of games, discussion topics, things you want us to do, things you want us to say. We are here for your ideas.
Yeah.
And we'd love to hear them. You can also find us on Spotify. I'm still late on uploading all the episodes and getting everything on the audio websites, but we're working on fixing that and being consistent with everything coming very soon.
Yeah, and then you can follow the podcast, Twitter and Instagram at appetizercast, and you can follow either of us at Erin MacDaddy or Moth Mancha on like pretty much every platform. And yeah.
With that, thank you for watching. Be sure to tip your waitresses, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.